Welcome to Self-Improvement Sunday with a quote from Peggy McColl. A very interesting woman. If you don't know anything about her, go check her out. If you want to change if you want your life to change, you must change. That's the foundation of any success, isn't it? Learning something new so I can make a different decision, so I can get a different outcome. That's really all change is. What I'm doing today doesn't work. This is where I want to get to. So I need to fill this gap that's in between with better decisions and better actions so I can close that gap. That's it. We'll get up tomorrow on that in a moment, but first, welcome. My name is Christopher D'Armani. It is my pleasure, it is my passion to empower aspiring Christian nonfiction writers to share their trauma to triumph journey using a complete, detailed roadmap for writing success so they can make the impact they know they were born to make. This is why I love writing. I get to impact someone else's life. And I think you're here because you want to do the same thing, but maybe you have some questions, maybe you have some doubts, maybe you have some thoughts that tell you nonsense like I can't, I won't, I shouldn't. Those are all nonsense. I call that voice my infernal editor. And he's infernal because all he does is lie to me. And if you have one of those, just understand he's lying to you too. It's just what he does. It's the only thing he knows. His only purpose in life is to derail you from doing the thing that God put on your heart to do. So with those thoughts in mind, if you aspire to affect change, whether in your writing, in your personal life, in your spiritual walk, in helping one other person do something slightly different so their life is better tomorrow than it is today, you must be the catalyst for that change. And Romans 12:2 is a great passage that makes this point. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. What is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God for you in this moment with your book? Wonderful passage. And what it means to me is that transformation begins in here. It doesn't start here, it starts here. You must be able to discern that divine guidance that he provides to you every single day. And this is not a destination. Keep that in mind. This is a process. This is a continual journey of understanding what that guidance means more accurately every single day. The further you go in your Christian walk, the more you know about the Bible, the more you understand about God's will and how it applies to your life. That's just how it is. After you've been a believer for 25 years, you simply know a lot more than on day 1 or day 20 or day 365. Simple. So begin with a simple shift, a shift in your perspective towards life, towards writing, towards spiritual growth, towards how you can be of service to someone else. Make a shift in that perspective. Embrace a mindset of possibility, of creativity, of gratitude, love, joy, compassion, and back all of that up with courage. Invest your time, your most precious resource. Invest your time into improving your writing skills. God gave you some level of talent. He gave all of us some level of talent. To some he gave a thimbleful, to some he gave a bucketful, to some he gave a dump truck full. The starting point is irrelevant because no matter how much possibility God gave you, unless you act on it, unless you hone those raw talents into mighty skills, they don't matter. There's some statistics out there about Mensa. Specifically, some really, really bright people who are so smart that if they applied themselves, they could transform the world. And yet they're laying on their couch watching television while having these really great discussions that never result in any action in their life. If you don't take action, nothing can change. The best thoughts in the world are utterly irrelevant if you don't take those ideas, those thoughts, and apply them and turn them into a reality in your life today. And that's all a book is. Taking this idea that God put on your heart to write so you could help someone else, so you could be of service to someone else. And your job is to get the words out of here onto there so you can make them better. So you can hone that first draft into something that's really, really amazing. So that when your ideal reader does pick it up, they understand a couple of simple things. Number one, wow, this looks like it might have the solution to the problem that I face today. Number two, oh my goodness, the way this author writes, they get me. They understand. They've obviously been where I've been, where I am right now, because they just wrote on that page what I've been thinking for the last week, the last month, the last year. Those are the beautiful things that happen. So your commitment, your dedication to this process will reward you in ways you can't possibly imagine on this side of the publish button. Your life is going to change in some really amazing ways, but it's all contingent upon a couple of simple steps. Strengthen your spiritual foundations. Strengthen your spiritual foundations. And how do you do that? Really simply. Use prayer, use meditation, study your Bible every day. Reflect on the things that you're reading and learning about. See how they seem to apply to your life. Figure that out. And here's the thing to try, if you've never done this could explode all kinds of interesting possibilities for you. Write an honest letter to yourself. What does that mean? It means this: share the details of a specific area of your life that you want to improve. Share the struggles that you're having with yourself, and then share some of the ideas you think that might help you shift from where you are right now into being that person that you want to be next month, next week, next year. Get all that stuff out of your head and onto the page as honestly, as openly, and as vulnerably as you possibly can. And then revisit that. Not every day, but maybe set aside a portion of one day a week and go back and read that letter to remind yourself of where you were, where you are now, and where you want to go to. Because you're not going to be in the same spot as you were when you wrote that letter even a week later. You'll have learned something new. So that letter can be this amazing piece of inspiration and motivation and encouragement that you need to keep going on your journey down Publication Highway. To keep learning, to keep growing, to keep figuring out, well, how is the best way that what is the best way to phrase this sentence in a way that my reader, the person whose life I know I'm meant to serve, can pick up this tool and use it, knowing in their heart that it's the right thing. This foundation of self-reflection is a really beautiful process that will help you get there. And that beautiful process of self-reflection is just one of the many steps that I'm going to be teaching you, that I'm going to be sharing with you at Christian Writer Unstuck starting on October 19th. This is a live 3-day event where I get to show you, I have the privilege of sharing with you the system that I've honed and refined over a couple of decades of writing, to the point where writing a book is just, when you use this system, because it approaches you, not just the book you want to write, but approaches you as a human being, figures out what you want to write, why you want to write it, how you need to write it. It answers all of those questions that you need and delivers the essential tools. So you'll understand your writing schedule. You'll understand, well, based on my skills, my abilities today, and the 30 minutes that I have to write, that I can actually set aside to write today, you get to know your manuscript math number, which is simply the number of days of writing that it will take to write your first draft. That's a really cool number. And it's never as high as you might think it is. You may think, well, it's going to take me 7 years to write my book. No, it won't. It probably won't even take you 7 months. It might only take you 7 weeks. I don't know. It depends on your manuscript math number. And that's one of the many tools that I'm going to be sharing with you during this 3-day event. And if that sounds exciting to you, if you want to find an easier, faster, simpler way of writing your book, well, I can share this. I've tried to find the easier, softer, simpler, less painful path my entire life. and where I've ended, where I've landed up, is with this process that I call your roadmap to writing success. And it literally is the plan from blank page, I have no idea what to write, to published book. It covers everything in between. And if you simply apply the information that I give to you during this live 3-day event, and then you do the things that this system requires of you every single day, I can guarantee you this: your finished, published book is inevitable. Inevitable. And that's why I love the system so much. That's why I want to share it with you, because I've been through that struggle. I spent 15 years of not getting a first draft done because I didn't understand what was required. And I had a series of things. I had a bunch of stinking thinking up here. I had an infernal editor. I didn't know that's what he was at the time. An infernal editor who lied to me day in, day out, and I made the mistake of believing him. And as a result, I never completed a single first draft in probably 15 years. And then one day, I don't even know that it was a conscious thought, but I decided I would do something slightly different. And I had a little more success. And I did something slightly different again the next day, and had a little more success. Until that day came where, oh my goodness, this entire first draft is finished. I've never done that before. It was amazing. And then I published the book too. Oh my goodness, right? Crazy stuff. But it's possible. And that's the stuff I want to share with you at Christian Writer Unstuck. Excuse me. So if that sounds cool, sounds interesting, sounds exciting, then simply go to christianwriterunstuck.com and read through every line on that page so you can get a clear yes or a clear no. This is either for me right now or it's not. Either answer is great so long as you understand that maybe there's a different path you need to take for your book. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But you won't know yourself either until you go and ask yourself those questions that page will walk you through so that you can get to that clear yes or that clear no. So you do know what your next step is to make your book a reality. Because you're not here watching me for the fun of it. You're here watching me, listening to me, because you know you have to write this book and you know you don't know how to do it yet. I would love the opportunity to share that process with you in this live 3-day immersive event where you will go from I don't know to oh my goodness, it's possible to I can. You know what? I will. No, I must do this. To that great place of I'd be insane not to do this. Because the process is very, very simple. It has to be. I want to complicate everything. And that never gets a book written. It really doesn't. So, anyways, long story. Whether you decide that Christian Writer Unstuck is a clear yes or a clear no for you or not, as long as you get to one of those two answers, great. That's the whole point. Figure out what your next step is. Whether the Christian Writer Unstuck is your next step or not, I would love to see you here again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll have some more fun. We'll talk about some interesting stuff that will sort of nudge open that door of possibility for you so that if you're telling yourself that you can't do this today, that maybe tomorrow will be the day that you go, maybe I can. That's a great shift. That's a great shift. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you here again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.